Detroit Den 313. Welcome back. Steve here. And I am telling you right now, if you're a child watching the show, ask your parents permission to be watching this because I am not going to say some nice things. I normally don't go down this road. I really don't unless I have a huge bone to pick. And I really have a huge bone to pick with some of these NFL player rankings. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand the golf hate. I don't understand. For those of you who don't know, it is that time of the year where the NFL is releasing their top 100 players, and this is voted on by players. So this isn't like fans, who were questioned in a poll or coaches or media. This is players saying these types of things. These are players that are ranking certain guys in spots. And I don't know the format. I don't know the algorithm. I don't know what the score looks like, but I don't understand. So let me just set the table for you guys. So according to the NFL players, Jared Goff has been voted number 48 in the top 100. Pretty good. That's a pretty good. Hey, I think that is fair. I think that is more than fair. If we wanted to get into overall players, every single position, I have no problems about Jared Goff being in the top 50. If he's 49, if he's 6, it doesn't matter to me. But I do have a bone to pick. I do have a couple bones to pick. I don't know what Jared Goff has to do to get more recognition. Listen, this is a guy, Jared Goff, whose career at this point right here today in 2024, statistically, more likely than not, a guy who's been through what he's been through would be a backup quarterback right now. He's the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions. At one point, he was the highest paid quarterback for about 6 minutes. And then he soon lost that title. The player that Jared Goff is and the determination and everything he's been through getting thrown. Let's just start with what happened with the Rams. Drafted number 1 overall, took him to a Super Bowl. Wasn't the most exciting Super Bowl. It wasn't sexy. It was against Tom Brady and one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick. 13-3, I think was the final score. So, okay, yeah, Jared Goff obviously did not light up the scoreboard when they only scored 3 points. Still a 2-possession game. And for most of that Super Bowl, from what I remember, a 1-possession game. I don't understand. And then let's just keep going with, and then, within the next couple years, Sean McVay pretty much throws Jared Goff under the bus every chance he gets, blaming the quarterback, not defending his quarterback, leaving the door open for a lot of interpretation and a lot of meetings and interviews where he was asked about Jared Goff, just not defending his guy. That's the one thing I love about the NFL is I appreciate those answers where I can just say, hey, that's what a coach is supposed to say. That's just what he's supposed to say, whatever the quote may be. Sean McVay, I can't say that about, man. Oh, is Jared Goff your quarterback of the future? I don't know. We'll have to take a deep dive and look into that and see who's available. Stuff like that he would say, just absolutely disrespecting his quarterback, leaving him out to dry, throwing him under the bus. That will cripple a mentality of a player. That will absolutely destroy a player's mental strength. Like it's just absolutely insane to me that Sean McVay is considered like this great, fantastic coach just with the way he handled Jared Goff's situation. Completely disrespected. So Jared Goff gets traded here, and even us as Lions fans, and I'm guilty of this, thinking, all right, he's a bridge quarterback. He's not. I didn't think he was being sent here to die, but I did not think he would thrive the way he is. I'll be honest, but I did see him as a bridge quarterback until we drafted someone. Hey, he plays a couple seasons. We get a rookie in here to sit for a year or two, and then eventually that said rookie will take over. That hasn't been the case. Jared Goff has been the most successful Detroit Lions quarterback in Detroit Lions history. It's just a fact. Like, we were a couple plays away from our very first Super Bowl, and Jared Goff had zero responsibility for the reason why we lost that NFC Championship game. He's probably one of only a few players who could really keep their hands clean and not have to take any blame for that. But he's a professional. I'm sure he did take a little blame. So that's just Jared Goff's path. So let's get into these rankings. So 48, not bad. Okay, here's where I have a problem. Right here. Tua Tagovailoa. You're telling me today, right now, Monday night, July 29th, that's the day of recording here. You're telling me that today you would take Tua over Jared Goff to start your franchise? Not a chance. Just absolutely Not a chance. If you take pretty much the Miami Dolphins have been trying to build their team like the New York Yankees. They're trying to get all the best pieces and just kind of hoping that it meshes. Well, it hasn't, and it won't. That's just not how you build a team. It's sexy. It's fantasy football points. They're a fun team to bet on if you want to bet the overs. When it comes crunch time and time to win some football games against good football teams, I'm not putting my money on Tua. Not at all. I don't think Tua could hold Jared Goff's jockstrap, his golf strap. That might be my fantasy football team name, the golf strap. Don't steal that, anyone. If you do, at least credit me with the originality of coming up with that name on the fly. Tua Tagovailoa is not a better quarterback than Jared Goff today. Not as it sits today. 5-6 years from now, we might be able to have that discussion. We might. But I think in 2 or 3 years, in 5 or 6 years from now, Jared Goff might have a couple Super Bowls under his belt. Will Tua? I truly don't think so. I just don't think Tua in any facet of the game is better than Jared Goff. He's not that much more athleticism. No. Is he a better pocket passer? No. Does he have Tyreek Hill? Yes. Is that what we're basing this off of, weapons? Because I will take our weapons against the Miami Dolphins, knowing they have Tyreek Hill any day of the week. You know why? Because our whole offensive line is a weapon. That is what keeps Jared Goff upright. When Jared Goff has time in the pocket, undisrupted, not in no pressure in his face, lethal. Is Tua? No, I've seen that guy throw some floaters. He doesn't throw a good football. He doesn't have a crazy strong arm. I remember when Tyreek Hill went to the Dolphins, and he said that Tua had a better arm and was more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I just don't know about that one. So I have a huge problem with that on the list. And here is another problem I have. Jordan Love, 34, just got a monster contract, like $55 million a year. And I said, man, that dude played like 7 good games. He played like 7 good football games last year. That's about a little less than half the season. First half of the season didn't look so hot. And I'll give credit where credit's due. As much as I absolutely despise the Packers, being a Detroit Lions fan, the Packers, Bears, Vikings, hate them all. Want to see them all lose. Don't want any injuries, but I don't want to see those franchises be successful for obvious reasons. Jordan Love played very, very good the second half of the season and into the playoffs. Did he deserve a contract that big? I don't think so. Do I understand that the Packers probably have a lot more, insight on what's going on with Jordan Love? Obviously. I just don't see how, if we're keeping this to purely just the rankings of 34 and Goff 48, who's been more successful in their career? And I get it. If you want to let's just limit this to just last season, who was more successful? Jared Goff went further. What are we talking about here? How do these NFL players just disrespect our guy JG? How? Like what is it? Is it because we play in the city of Detroit? We're not a sexy city. We're not Miami where Tua plays. And I know Green Bay isn't very sexy, but what is it? Is it just because we've had a history of like the last 40 years of being like one of the worst NFL franchises in football history? I get it. Times are different. Are some of these NFL players living in that SOL mentality? Have we not put enough people on notice yet? Jared Goff absolutely torched the NFL last season. I mean, did he win MVP or anything like that? No. Was he really, really good for most of the season? Yeah, there was a couple games where Jared Goff was a little bit shaken. I remember the Thanksgiving game. Rashawn Gary had a day. The Bears game on the road wasn't very good. The Ravens game. There's a couple games out there you could look at. It just happens. But to sit here and tell me and try to convince me that Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa is a better quarterback today than Jared Goff, I will not be able to rest easy at night with people who are out there thinking this in the world. It makes no sense to me, guys. I'm not saying that because I hate the Packers or I don't have any emotional connection to the Dolphins whatsoever. This, just as a football fan, does not make sense to me. So leave it in the comments down below, guys. Let me know how you feel. Stick around, hit that like button. I'll be back later with another show.